For the African-American population, when Jackie Robinson breaks Major League Baseball's color barrier, it carried the same level of euphoria that we saw as a nation when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. And of course, Buzz Aldrin also walked on the moon, and Buzz is the forgotten man. Larry Doby would sign with Cleveland literally just weeks after Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Larry Doby is the forgotten man. Larry Doby went through just as much. Some may even argue even more than Jackie because he was playing in the American League. And the American League wasn't nearly as liberal as the National League. When he walked into the locker room with Cleveland, no one would shake his hand. When he stepped out on the field, no one wanted to warm up with him. Larry Doby was 23 years old, thrown into a powder keg of racism. Yet Larry Doby had the exact same pedigree that made Jackie the right one to be the first. College educated, had served in the Navy during World War II, was an outstanding baseball player for the Negro League's Newark Eagles. And it didn't take long. Larry Doby never played a day in the minor leagues. He went straight from the Newark Eagles over to Cleveland. And in 1948, he and the old man, Satchel Paige, helped Cleveland win the World Series.
The Cleveland Indians triumph over the Boston Braves, and the 1948 World Series is all over.
Larry Doby digs in for the Eagles now. Line drive. And they get Doby for the out. And there's two down.
Boog, when Larry Doby played football for Eastside High School in New Jersey, they had a game against Montclair High. You know who was on that Montclair team? The other second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin.
Whoa. Here comes a pitch. Line, and that's a base hit. So a man on base to start the inning.
In 1946, the great Larry Doby had a tremendous season. He helped Newark win the Negro Leagues World Series. And during that season, he only hit .341, was named to the East-West All-Star Game, and finished one home run behind league leaders Josh Gibson and Johnny Davis.
Larry Doby steps in with a runner on and nobody out. And that's off the inside edge. And that is ball one. This to center field under this one. And there are two down. Throw, and it gets away.
Larry Doby thought he'd be playing shortstop for Newark, but Hall of Fame player and manager Willie Wells had that position already, and he suggested to Larry that he was a more natural outfielder. You didn't argue with a guy whose nickname was Devil.
And they get Doby for the out, and that'll do it. And that one almost hit him.
During World War II, Doby played for the Great Lakes Naval Station's black baseball team, and he hit .348. They also have basketball and football teams, but only the football team was integrated. Hall of Famer Marion Motley was the star.
Runner on the go. Ball outside. Safe at second, and he easily steals the bag. Left-hand hitter waits. That one ripped. Base hit. Runner around third. Throws to second. Not in time. He's safe. Larry Doby steps in to take on Satchel. That's hard hit in the line. Nabs it. So Satchel wins this matchup with Doby.
You know, Boog, Larry Doby thought of that 1946 Eagles team as one of the best he ever played on. Didn't hurt that he was teammates with 3 future Hall of Famers, Willie Wells, Leon Day, and Monty Irvin.
And first offering is fouled off.
These hitters like this that have so much power, look forward to seeing them hit the ball a long way. But if you're in the stands, or you're in a broadcast booth, or you're a writer, better keep your eye on the game.
That one blasted deep to right. Sellers reaching back towards the wall. Pulls it in on the warning track. There was one more Hall of Famer on that 1946 Eagles team, Siggy. Manager Biz Mackey. He was 48 by then, but still played 10 games for the Eagles as a catcher. Little. Off-balance feed. There's one. Throw to first, but he beat it. This one in the dirt. The tag, and got him at second. Bang, bang play, and the inning is over. And welcome back to the ballpark. Bottom of the inning, Larry Doby digging in now. Wouldn't chase that time. Oh, this one high and deep. Way back there. Gone. Doby takes Satchel deep.
Like a lot of players from the Negro Leagues, Larry Doby was an outstanding multi-sport athlete. He'd been a star basketball player at Long Island University, where he played under the assumed name of Larry Walker to protect his amateur status while he was playing for the Newark Eagles. Larry Doby would go on to become the first black to play in the American Basketball League, which would become the precursor to the National Basketball Association.
Larry Doby getting ready to hit. Base hit, and a run comes in.
You know, Larry Doby was stationed in Hawaii for part of his military service, and he practiced with Major Leaguer Mickey Vernon. Vernon was so impressed, he recommended Doby to Washington Senators owner Clark Griffith, but Griffith wasn't brave enough to sign Doby.
Into second with a double, and they've got something brewing now.
A young Larry Doby would recall his first game in the Negro Leagues against the Homestead Braves. Who was the catcher? The great Josh Gibson. Larry Doby gets into the batter's box. Gibson looks up at him and says, "Son, we're going to see how you handle a fastball." Larry Doby singled. Next time up, Gibson says, "Son, we're going to see how you handle a curveball." Larry Doby singled again. The next time up, Josh Gibson says, "We gonna see how you react when you get knocked down." They knocked him down. He gets up. He pops up. The next time up, they knock him down, but this time he singles again. Your life was tough in the Negro Leagues. They were never afraid to knock you down, but Larry Doby was never afraid to get back up.
Larry Doby digging in now. Line drive, that's a base hit. And they'll score first. It's 1-0.
Larry Doby took a lot of pride in breaking barriers. He said he hit better in Washington and St. Louis because that's where the parks had segregated seating, so he could tell where the black fans were cheering him on from.
And they get Doby for the out. Out number 2. Like you were saying, Chris, Doby broke a lot of barriers. In 1949, 4 black players broke the color line in Major League Baseball's All-Star game. Doby, Jackie Robinson, Don Newcomb, and Roy Campanella. And here it comes. On the ground right side. Little. Fires over to first. Now 1 gone in the top of the 6th. And that one fouled off.
Well, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Down the line. Tries to make the play, but it's foul. Out towards right center. That's well struck. In one hops off the wall. Should be extra bases. Not stopping. He's going for 3. The relay throw. He's in there.
If you want an indication of why Larry Doby was the second man to walk on the moon, well, when he gets called up in 1947, he was only hitting .414. Over a decade-long major league career, 9-time All-Star, the first African-American to lead either league in home runs in 1952. He also led the league in runs scored that season. He would go on to become the second African-American to manage in Major League Baseball, only behind the great Frank Robinson. He would become the first to win both a Negro Leagues World Series and a Major League World Series, on his way into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
An historic moment as Larry Doby digs in for his Cleveland debut. Hammer, base hit. 1 run is in. Owens round second on his way to 3rd. Coming home. He's also in to score, and it's now a 2-run game.
The legendary Jim Mudcat Grant, the first African-American pitcher to win 20 games in the American League. He was a roommate of Larry Doby when he was with Cleveland, and Mudcat was in awe of Larry Doby. And so as Mudcat would tell the story, he got to the hotel room before Larry Doby does, where he hears the key in the door, and there he is. And as Mudcat would describe Larry Doby to him, looked like a giant. He says to Mudcat, "You must be Mudcat." Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Which bed would you like?" Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Do you like to watch TV?" He says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Larry Doby finally said, "Look, you got to stop with all this, yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." The admiration, the respect that was held for this pioneering baseball player and what he meant to this sport was outstanding.
The star center fielder Larry Doby digging in for Cleveland now. Towards first. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it.
Larry Doby roomed with 2 great black pitchers in Cleveland, Mudcat Grant and Satchel Paige. Well, sort of. He said, "Supposedly I roomed with Satch, but I really roomed with his luggage."
Martin back to work. That one is absolutely belted into the monster seats.
Larry Doby was Cleveland's top hitter and performed excellently on defense.
In a trailblazing career, Larry Doby is still the forgotten man. As I remind our guest here at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Larry Doby, too, suffered tremendous indignities as he integrated with Cleveland in 1947. Again, just weeks after Jackie Robinson would break the color barrier.
Jackie Robinson leads off for Brooklyn.
Oh, it was challenging, but Larry Doby endured. And Larry Doby rose above the adversity. But I guess when I stopped to think about it, Larry Doby had been very much prepared to rise above the adversity. After all, that's what the players in the Negro Leagues had done from the start. Larry Doby carried that spirit with him.
This is a great moment. All the struggles that I've gone through and other players of Afro-Americans, this is a reward for all of us.
It's never easy to be the first, but Larry Doby blazed a tremendous path that eventually led him into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It is still hard to believe that it took until 1998 that Larry Doby would cross the threshold to become one amongst the immortals of this game. But I guess better late than never for this amazing pioneer and this amazing human being.
This is it, what? Lucini pouring from the sky, let's get rich, what? The G keep on sugar.